Good evening, everyone. Yesterday we studied about what is enzyme, and we studied the reason of success of enzyme. That is why it is so much successful in increasing the rate of reaction. And we studied the basic properties of enzyme. Today we will talk about other important informations of enzyme. But before we start our class, we will first discuss the question I asked you yesterday. I asked you that in some cases, the big enzyme is converted into small enzymes. And such procedure is called derived enzymes or derived protein, we can tell. I told you to find like examples for it. So I give you one simple question in which I asked you, okay, consider a situation that inside stomach the ribosome, this one, the protein is present. Why? Because the wall of the stomach is also made up of protein. But then also the stomach wall is not digested by the proteolytic enzymes present in the stomach. So the answer of this is, in case of enzymes, the enzymes or the proteolytic enzymes present in the stomach are present in inactive form. For example, this pepsinogen is in active form. Now this pepsinogen will be converted into pepsin. So actually, some part which was making it inactive is removed to get itself converted into active form. Understood? So this is how it works. Understood? You got the answer? Think and let me know.
मैम तो सभी प्रोटीन्स क्यों ऐसे अगर एक्टिव हो जाएंगे तो फिर क्या होगा?
सभी प्रोटीन्स नॉर्मली एक्टिव नहीं हो जाएंगे. आई वाज वेटिंग फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन एंड दैट्स व्हाई I didn't write the part which is mentioned here, that is HCl. पेप्सिनोजेन अपने आप पेप्सिन में कन्वर्ट नहीं होता है. When the present HCl is present in the stomach, is converting pepsinogen to pepsin. And secretion of HCl is also not at random. In our body, nothing is at random unless and until we are having some kind of disease. Everything is in a synchronization and it has a reason. Understood? Is this part?
मैम तो HCl कुछ ही पेप्सिनोजेन पर रिएक्ट होगा.
कुछ ही पेप्सिनोजेन means I didn't get.
मैम क्योंकि प्रोटीन्स तो सभी जो इनएक्टिव होंगे उन पर अगर HCl एक्ट करेगा तो सभी हो जाएंगे ना एक्टिव फॉर्म में.
बेटा production of enzyme, I think I described to you yesterday that DNA to the production of protein, it is a controlled method. पेप्सिनोजेन उतने ही बनेंगे जितने जरूरत पड़ेंगे.
ओके मैम.
Here, you asked a very relevant question. Is sare pepsinogen? See, in our body, production of anything. Yesterday we were talking. No, there is a mechanism by which the production of product formation is controlled. If you can remember, did we talk about this yesterday? That it is on the
Yes,
basis
ma'am.
of demand versus supply. So ऐसा नहीं होगा कि unlimited amount of pepsinogen will be available in the stomach. Production of pepsinogen will be also as per the demand and supply ratio. So this is why the wall of the stomach is not getting digested, because enzymes are present there in the inactive form, which is bigger in size. Is this part clear to everyone? So
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
go ahead for enzymes. Okay. So let us start talking about enzymes. So we use a specific terminology for enzyme that is called biocatalyst. So today, first thing that we will do is we will have a comparison between normal catalyst and enzyme. You didn't got opportunity to study about it in your grade 10 chemistry. There was one catalyst, you can say, that is at acidified potassium permanganate, acidified KMnO4. It is helpful for converting alcohol into carboxylic acid. But I think that part was deleted last time due to CBSE, so you didn't have any opportunity to learn about it. So catalysts are inorganic or organic substances. They actually are responsible for acceleration of rate of reaction. So generally the catalysts are inorganic and they are very simple, where enzymes are organic and they are complex. Second important thing is catalysts have very low molecular weight because they are generally made up of a group of atoms and form the micromolecule. But yesterday we discussed about the molecular weight of pyruvate dehydrogenase, and at that time you knew that it was 46,000 kilodalton. So you can understand the molecular weight of enzyme is quite high. Next thing is, in case of catalyst, the specificity is less. For example, I provided you one idea about how acidified KMnO4 is responsible for conversion of alcohol into acid. So if it is methanol, it will do, ethanol, it will do, propanol, it will do. So it's not specific about the alcohol. But in case of enzymes, I am giving you examples since beginning that its specificity is too high. What else? Apart from that, it catalyzes non-biological reactions, whereas it will catalyze biological reactions. Next, the worst part about catalysis is it is not well regulated. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया है कि एंजाइम रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन को बढ़ाएगा या नहीं बढ़ाएगा, प्रोडक्शन चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए, इट इज ऑलवेज कंट्रोल्ड ऑन सप्लाई टू डिमांड रेशियो. इन कैटलिसिस रिएक्शन अगर रिएक्टेंट अवेलेबल है, कैटलिस्ट अवेलेबल है, मतलब रिएक्शन होने ही वाला है, यू कैन नॉट स्टॉप इट. But in case of enzyme, it is more concentrating towards the need of product. अगर product की जरूरत नहीं है, even if enzyme is present, even if substrate is present, the catalysis will not go on. So I can write it is well regulated. So the only similarity between catalyst and enzyme is, first of all, it will accelerate the rate of reaction. वो rate of reaction को बढ़ाएगा दोनों. Second is, both of them will accelerate the rate of forward and backward reaction equally. Other than that, these are like dissimilarities, or we can say these are the differences. Let us jot down similarities also. This can be asked as a 3-marker question. So first, as I told you, both increase the rate of reaction second, it increase the rate in both direction, that is in forward as well as backward too. Third similarity is it remains unchanged after reaction. And actually it lowers the activation energy. Is there any doubt regarding this? Anyone? Take your time, go through the differences and similarity, and if you have any doubt, please let me know, beta.
Ma'am.
Yes, beta. One by one. Bolo.
Ayushi, you first state your doubt.
हाँ, चलेगा.
Ma'am, can you re-explain the third and fourth point in catalyst?
So in case of catalyst, beta, specificity is less. That means it doesn't have a same substrate. जैसे अगर एक एंजाइम है जो ग्लूकोज को फ्रुक्टोज में कन्वर्ट करेगा, कंसीडर करो एक एंजाइम है which will convert glucose to fructose. Even although galactose is having same formula, chemical formula, वो गैलेक्टोज को फ्रुक्टोज में कन्वर्ट नहीं करेगा, वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ ग्लूकोज को ही फ्रुक्टोज में कन्वर्ट करेगा. अगर कोई एक एंजाइम है जो डी अमाइनो एसिड को का रिएक्शन करवा रहा है, अगर वहां एल अमाइनो एसिड रहे तो वो रिएक्शन नहीं करवाएगा. एंजाइम्स आर दिस मच स्पेसिफिक. Whereas in case of catalysts, it is acting on a group of substances. जैसे actually I am quite helpless because this you hardly know about any examples of catalysis. That's why I am like kind of handicapped over here. एक reaction आप लोग अपनी 10th की NCERT में देखना, that is like आपको पता है डालडा बनता है, वनस्पति घी बोलते हैं जिसे। आजकल तो लोग थोड़े हेल्थ कॉन्शियस हो गए, खाते नहीं है।
Yes, ma'am.
सो ये डालडा कैसे बनता है? एक्चुअली जो ऑयल होता है उसमें हाइड्रोजन्स ऐड किए जाते हैं। ओके, सो हाइड्रोजन कौन ऐड करता है? यहाँ निकेल प्लैटिनम पैलेडियम कैटलिस्ट यूज होता है, which store hydrogen and actually वो हाइड्रोजन को ऐड करते हैं। सो वहां पे कोई भी वेजिटेबल ऑयल है, इट इज गोइंग टू डू इट्स फंक्शन। जैसे मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया कि अल्कोहल कोई भी हो, इट इज हैविंग एबिलिटी टू कन्वर्ट इट इनटू एसिड। तो उसमें स्पेसिफिसिटी कहाँ है बेटा? It is having specificity, but that specificity is not as precise as enzymes, no? Is it? Ayushi?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it that much specific, the normal catalyst?
No, ma'am.
So that is all I mean to say in third number. And in fourth number point तो is self-explanatory. Catalyst जो होते हैं वो non-biological reactions को catalyze करते हैं. That means reactions which is which is actually मतलब going out, working outside the body. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Yashvi, your question.
मैम आपने जो सिमिलैरिटीज लिखी है उसमें सेकंड जो पॉइंट है उसका मतलब रिएक्टेंट्स को प्रोडक्ट्स में और प्रोडक्ट्स को वापस से रिएक्टेंट्स में कन्वर्ट कर सकता है वो।
हाँ, that's what. बट मैंने आपको बोला था कि there is a principle called La-Chatelier's principle. उसमें क्या होगा कि La-Chatelier's principle में क्या होगा कि अगर हम प्रोडक्ट्स को वहां से कंस्टेंटली हटा लिया जाए, then rate of forward reaction will be more. So that is what principle is opted. But in case of normal catalyst, it is not very easy to regulate. वो अपने आप को regulate नहीं कर सकते. Understood? But enzymes are self-regulated.
Yes, ma'am.
मैम
Yes, बेटा.
मैम इट इज नॉट वेल रेगुलेटेड, वो वाला पॉइंट समझाओ ना।
वही तो मैंने समझाया बेटा अभी कि वो वेल रेगुलेटेड नहीं होता है। जितनी चाहिए उतनी, जब तक आपके पास रिएक्टेंट है, कैटलिस्ट है, रिएक्शन चलता रहेगा। प्रोडक्ट चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए? इट इज बिकॉज ये बॉडी में नहीं है जिसमें एक एंजाइम का प्रोडक्ट 100 चीजों से कनेक्टेड है। सो दैट्स व्हाई इट विल नॉट बी लाइक वेल रेगुलेटेड. एनी अदर डाउट एनीवन?
No.
Great. So we will now look into the mechanism of enzyme action. So what do we mean by mechanism of enzyme action? In this actually एक ही hypothesis तुम्हारे books में है, but in entrance they may ask both the hypothesis. That's why I am like explaining both here. दोनों explain कर रही हूँ मैं यहाँ पे. First hypothesis जो use होता है that is called lock and key hypothesis. What is this? This was proposed by scientist named Emil Fischer. जिन scientist ने ये propose किया था, his name was Emil Fischer. So I will draw the diagram which will make it easy for you to understand. Consider this is the enzyme. So this is the enzyme. Now we have two substrates. One is like this, and the other one is having structure like this. In the lock and key hypothesis of Emil Fischer, he was providing more stress on the physical selection of enzyme and substrate. He was more emphasizing के enzymes की जो part होगी वहां पे उसकी shape के ऊपर depend करके substrate add होगा. Okay, so these two are A and B, and we call them substrates. So substrates are something on which enzymes act. Okay, now what will happen next? If you look into it after some time, now the enzyme and substrates are bound with each other in a perfect manner. So this we called as enzyme substrate complex. Once this binding is done, now slowly and steadily, due to lowering of the activation energy, there is modification, and now the substrate will be converted into product. So enzyme will remain same. The structure of enzyme will remain same, but slowly and steadily some change is observed, which results into formation of the product, which has modified structure like this. So this is the enzyme and this is the product. As the shape of product is completely different from the shape of substrates, it is no longer able to bind with the enzyme, so they get dissociated, and this enzyme is once again free for the first step. So this is how Emil Fischer described about the mechanism of enzyme action. Okay, so this is the site where actually substrate bind is called active site. It is called active site of enzyme, and this is exactly complementary to the structure of substrate. अगर active site ऐसे हुआ तो substrate S का binding site ऐसे होगा. अगर active site ऐसे हुआ तो substrate का binding site ऐसे होगा. So that means Emil Fischer was stressing more on the physical appearance of the enzymes and substrate. Now let's look into the other hypothesis, which is describing mechanism of enzyme action. It is called. Yes, beta.
मैम ये जो प्रोडक्ट बनेगा वो दोनों सबस्ट्रेट मिक्स हो जाने से बनेगा?
मिक्स भी हो सकते हैं, अलग भी रह सकते हैं, डिपेंड्स.
ओके मैम.
It is called induced fit hypothesis. This was the way lock and key hypothesis was proposed by Emil Fischer. This was proposed by Daniel E. Koshland, or generally we call it Koshland, called him Koshland. So in this case, situation is a bit different. So what is here? Actually, here also the concept is of active site and concept is of binding substrate into active site. But वो बोल रहा है कि like the substrates active site are not same as like substrate. For example, अगर हम इसको enzyme बनाएं, it is somewhat similar to the substrate. So we have two substrates over here. Once again, consider this is one substrate, this is another substrate. So in first step, substrate binds to active site of enzyme. So the way in lock and key hypothesis हम consider करते हैं कि एकदम perfect active site की shape होगी, so that substrate can bind it perfectly over there. इसके case में we don't think like that. What Koshland proposes, it is approximately similar with the substrate, but the fitting is not perfect. जैसे आप देखते हो कि आप में से किसी ने अगर सूट को बनाते हुए देखा होगा, तो आप देखना कि वो लोग पहले बनाते हैं, उसके बाद पिन्स यूज कर करके वो उसकी फिटिंग करते हैं. मतलब पहले एक रफ फिटिंग किया जाता है, उसके बाद पिन्स यूज करके उसको आउटलाइन बना के दे गिव इट अ परफेक्ट फिट. तो सेम तरीके से बाइंड तो होगा एक्टिव साइट में, बट इट्स नॉट अ परफेक्ट फिट. सो हाउ लाइक थिंग्स आर लाइक डन इन केस ऑफ दिस. तो फिर वो बाइंड कैसे होंगे अगर परफेक्ट फिट नहीं हुआ तो? In this case, binding is more dependent on chemical bonds rather than simply fitting into the structure. Chemical interaction between these two substrates with the enzyme is more important in case of induced fit model. तो अब जब इनकी बाइंडिंग हो जाएगी, how will they look? They actually will have structure like this. Means they are going to look like this, rather to say. And the enzyme will modify itself so that it can fit into the substrate. So what we can write? So the enzyme distort itself so that it can fit the substrate. Okay, now next what will happen? The products will be released so this is the product which will be released, and here also enzyme can be reused once again. So लॉकेन की हाइपोथेसिस मानता है कि एकदम माप एक्टिव साइट होती है और सबस्ट्रेट वहां घुस जाता है। इंड्यूस फिट हाइपोथेसिस मानते हैं कि पहले लूज बाइंडिंग होती है, उसके बाद एंजाइम अपने शेप को थोड़ा बहुत चेंज करके वो उसको फिट सबस्ट्रेट को अपने अंदर लाइक एकोमोडेट कर लेता है। इज दिस टू पार्ट क्लियर टू बोथ ऑल ऑफ यू बेटा?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So now we are going to see one video of enzyme, that is enzyme mechanism of enzyme action. Let me share the screen. You people have a look into it and let me know if your doubts are clarified or you are having better understanding of the factor. I guess the screen is visible to you people, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes,
there is a black box on the top of the screen.
Yes, beta?
Ma'am, there is a black box on the top of the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is actually the sharing option. That is will be there. If I remove it, it will go somewhere else. I think it is gone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Till the time I am operating, it will be there, then it will go. So let's start.
Enzymes are complex nitrogenous organic compounds which are produced by living plants and animals. They are actually protein molecules of high molecular mass. These biological molecules are responsible for the thousands of chemical interconversions that sustain life. These include conversion of sucrose into glucose and fructose, conversion of glucose into ethyl alcohol and carbon dioxide, decomposition of urea into ammonia and carbon dioxide, etc. Enzymes speed up various biochemical reactions without being consumed in the reactions by following a proper mechanism. Let us discuss the mechanism in detail. The enzyme's catalyzed chemical reactions proceed in two steps. Step 1 involves binding of the enzyme to substrate to form an activated complex. The basic mechanism begins with the binding of the substance to the active site on the enzyme. The active site is the specific region of the enzyme which combines with the substrate. The active site has a unique geometric shape that is complementary to the geometric shape of a substrate molecule. The binding of substrate with enzyme is often compared with the lock and key mechanism. Step 2 involves the decomposition of the activated complex to form a product. The enzyme undergoes a slight change in its orientation to fit into the substrate perfectly. The binding of the substrate to the enzyme causes a change in the chemical bonds of the substrate and ultimately causes the reactions that lead to the formation of products. The products are released from the enzyme surface to regenerate the enzyme for another reaction cycle. Let us understand the mechanism of enzyme action more extensively by taking the example of hydrolysis of sucrose. The catalytic hydrolysis of the common disaccharide sucrose into the monosaccharides glucose and fructose is carried out in the presence of the enzymes sucrase. When sucrose binds to the active site of sucrase, the configuration of sucrase is changed. As a result, the oxygen bridge between the two monosaccharides gets exposed to water molecules in solvent. The water molecule breaks the oxygen bridge and the OH group of water molecule gets attached to one of the monosaccharides and the H gets attached to the oxygen of the second monosaccharide. Thus, the disaccharide is hydrolyzed into two separate sugars. On the completion of hydrolysis, the enzyme configuration is changed back to the original shape and the active site becomes available for other sucrose to bind. This action can be repeated many times until the enzymes become denatured or gets inhibited. The mechanism of enzyme catalysis is similar in principle to the other types of chemical catalysis. By providing an alternative reaction route, the enzyme reduces the energy required to reach the highest energy transition state of the reaction. The reduction of activation energy increases the number of reactant molecules with enough energy to reach the activation energy and form the product. As a result, products are formed faster and reactions reach their equilibrium state more rapidly. Most enzyme reaction rates are millions of times faster than those of comparable uncatalyzed reactions.
I think
I am free of diabetes and I have stopped taking all my medicines. Having just completed a 21-kilometer half marathon last week,
I feel a lot more energetic in life.
the concept is clear to everyone.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is how actually the enzymes go for the catalysis. Now we will discuss about the subunits of enzyme and we will come across a few terminologies related to enzyme. There is a terminology called isoenzyme. What do we mean by the word isoenzyme? Isoenzyme are enzymes with different molecular structure but same catalytic function. Means their molecular structure may be same, but they have similar catalytic function. That means they are going for similar type of reaction. So we call them isoenzymes. Now, if we look into the structure of an enzyme, I told you the major structure is made up of protein, but there are certain things which can be associated with enzyme. For example, if there is enzyme and a cofactor is added to it, we call this as holoenzyme. That means we call apoenzyme. So this enzyme, apoenzyme, is the protein part, and cofactor is the non-protein part. Now this cofactor can be of two types. If this cofactor is proteinaceous, or I should say that if it is actually non-proteinaceous, but organic. And we can call this coenzyme. I know that you still do not know about example of any coenzyme, but let me tell you, this year in unit 4, we will have pathways like photosynthesis and respiration. वहां आप बहुत सारे coenzymes के बारे में जान सकेंगे. For example, so I am writing the example, but it may be something new to you. जैसे coenzyme A. Coenzyme A is a type of coenzyme. It should be non-proteinaceous but organic. वो प्रोटीन से बना हुआ नहीं होना चाहिए, but it should be organic part and it can be easily separable. It should be easily separable. Generally, they are not attached with the like enzyme. You can easily separate them from the enzyme, but separate तो हम कर सकते हैं, but they cannot like what I can say, they cannot live without it. मतलब enzymes को अगर proper तरीके से काम करना है तो उनको coenzyme तो चाहिए, but they are not actually attached to it. Next is prosthetic group. Prosthetic groups are non-protein part tightly bound with enzyme. What is the example? The heme of iron part of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin का जो heme part यानी iron part है, that is called prosthetic group. Now, in several other books, cofactors are also called associated parts. So, कुछ enzymes के case में ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि non-protein substances जो inorganic होते हैं उनको cofactors बोला जाता है, जैसे K+, Mg2+, जैसे Mg2+ is associated with ATPase enzyme. कोई भी एंजाइम जो एटीपी को ब्रेक डाउन करता है उसको एज अ कोफैक्टर मैग्नीशियम 2+ आयन चाहिए होता है, बट दिस कोफैक्टर्स और दिस कोएंजाइम्स दे आर लूजली एसोसिएटेड, whereas prosthetic group जो होंगे they will be very very tightly associated with the enzyme. Is this part clear to everyone? Yes, Yashvi.
मैम आपने एपो एंजाइम के बारे में क्या डिस्क्रिप्शन बताया, वो आप एक बार फिर से रिपीट करो ना.
Apo enzyme is the protein part of the enzyme beta.
तो मैम वो
enzyme का जो main
inactive,
proteinaceous part है that is called apo enzyme.
तो मैम वो इनएक्टिव हो गए या फिर एक्टिव?
Inactive part क्यों रहेगा enzyme में यशवी?
मैम मतलब
Active होगा
ये
obviously. प्रोटीन ही तो मेन स्ट्रक्चर है ना उसका.
यस मैम.
So inactive क्यों होगा? Let me write it down this way so that it will be easy for you to understand. So actually in different book this different part is mentioned like differently. Associated part, let me write it, associated part. It's produce hollow enzyme, and here I will write associated part. and we can mention cofactor over here. So this is inorganic, loosely associated. For example, Mg2 plus in. Any other doubt, anyone?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So, if this part is clear that how structurally enzyme is oriented, now we will talk about the factors affecting enzyme activity. We now know how is the structure and what is it's made up of and how it functions. So there are factors. We are going to talk about them. I told you that whenever an enzyme is active in a biological system, it's not alone. It's continuously monitored by other activities of body, and it will function whenever it is required. Unnecessary function is not required by the enzyme. So let us start discuss about the factors affecting enzyme activity. The most important factor is enzyme concentration. Enzyme concentration is actually proportional to the, it is actually the proportional to the rate of reaction, but up to saturation point. So what is this saturation point means? Let us understand here. Consider I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 enzymes. Now, if I am having one substrate, so one enzyme will be occupied. If I increase the amount of substrate, second number enzyme will be occupied. So obviously, two products will be produced instead of one. This is the way if I keep on increasing the number of substrates, the rate of reaction will increase. But if I further increase the number of substrate molecule, or rather to say concentration, because practically we cannot count and add up the molecules, we add up the concentration. Now, even if I added 3 extra substrates, all my enzymes are occupied with previous substrates. So do you think this 3 substrates addition will increase the rate of reaction?
No, ma'am.
So this point
No,
is
ma'am.
called saturation point. So that is why whenever we are increasing the concentration of enzyme or increasing concentration of substrate, the rate of reaction will increase, but it will increase up to the time when all enzymes are having substrate available with them. If all enzymes are having substrate available with them, then there is saturation point, and obviously the further increase in the rate will not be there. So what about substrate concentration? So in case of substrate concentration, there was a scientist called that is Michaelis Menten. He worked a lot in this aspect of substrate concentration. And demonstrated or presented the effect of increase in substrate concentration in the form of a graph. He plotted a graph like this, which is also called, rather to say, a graph plotted by Michaelis-Menten. No worries, I'm going to write their names so that it will be easy for you to understand. He plotted a graph like this. In x-axis, if you are taking substrate concentration, termed as S, okay, and in y-axis, if you are taking velocity of reaction, it is observed that the rate of reaction, first there will be an increase and then there will be no further increase in the rate of reaction. Why? I already explained to you कि आपके पास अगर 10 enzymes के molecules है, up to the time 10 substrate molecules are there and all enzyme molecules are occupied, there will be increase in the rate. After that, there will be not. So, what is so special about this Michaelis-Menten? They actually derived one equation from this graph, which is very important for us to study enzyme substrate relationship. Before we go for that, let me tell you, this part can be is what? Y axis में ये जो point होगा, this can be termed as velocity maximum, can be termed it as Vmax. Vmax मतलब maximum velocity. Can we say that, class?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, अगर ये जितना है इसका exact अगर हम half लिए, so what it will be called? Half position will be called half Vmax. Yes or no? अब ये
Yes,
हाफ
ma'am.
Vmax से अगर हम ग्राफ को टच करें और वहां से एक्स एक्सिस में परपेंडिकुलर ड्रॉ करें, तो ये जो वैल्यू मिलेगी दैट इज कॉल्ड Kn. So by this they predicted the Michaelis-Menten equation. They said velocity is equal to different in product concentration. Obviously किसी भी रिएक्शन के रेट को और वेलोसिटी को हम कैसे नापते हैं? चेंज इन प्रोडक्ट कंसेंट्रेशन. अभी तक तो आप फिजिक्स में जान गए होंगे dp मतलब क्या है और dt मतलब क्या है. व्हाट डू वी डिनोट बाय d? स्मॉल d से क्या डिनोट करते हैं हम? इंटीग्रेशन का ये पार्ट फिजिक्स में आ गया है ना? यस बेटा.
Ma'am, change in.
Small change, not only change beta, it is small change. That's why denoted as d. D stands for delta, है ना? This is differentiation. So dp by dt, that is small change in product difference in with reference to small change in time, is equal to V max multiplied by substrate concentration divided by Kn plus substrate concentration. So this is called substrate concentration. Km is called Michaelis-Menten constant. And dp/dt क्या है, that तो I explained to you already. It is always observed कि किसी भी एंजाइम की km वैल्यू जितनी ज्यादा होगी उतनी ही affinity of enzyme towards product कम होगा. अब ये एफिनिटी ऑफ एंजाइम टुवर्ड्स प्रोडक्ट जितना कम होगा उतना अच्छा है. क्यों अच्छा है? क्यों? कोई बता सकता है व्हाई? लाइक अगर एफिनिटी ऑफ एंजाइम टुवर्ड्स प्रोडक्ट कम हुआ तो उससे क्या फायदा है बेटा?
मैम उससे Km मैक्सिमम रहेगा.
ये ऐसा है जैसे मतलब साफ बच गए हम और आंसर किया, वैसी आंसर नहीं चाहिए मुझे. मुझे प्रॉपर आंसर चाहिए इस क्वेश्चन. आपको लगता है कि अगर प्रोडक्ट की एफिनिटी एंजाइम के साथ बहुत ज्यादा होगा तो अच्छा है? व्हाट डू यू थिंक? क्लास?
नो मैम.
क्यों, क्या प्रॉब्लम होगा अगर
No,
ज्यादा
ma'am.
ज्यादा हुआ तो प्रॉब्लम क्या होने वाली? अरे भाई, अगर प्रोडक्ट की एफिनिटी सबस्ट्रेट के लिए बहुत ज्यादा हुआ तो वो प्रोडक्ट छोड़ेगा एंजाइम को? विल इट लीव द एंजाइम?
नो मैम.
No, ma'am.
तो एंजाइम रीयूज कैसे करोगे आप? और प्रोडक्ट अपना काम कैसे करेगा? आप प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हो खेलने के लिए, हम नहीं बना रहे. हम क्यों बना रहे हैं? उसको कहीं ना कहीं हमें यूज करना है. Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
तो आपकी प्रोडक्ट
Yes.
एंजाइम को छोड़ के जाएगा ही नहीं, तो वो प्रोडक्ट को यूज क्या करने वाले हो आप? प्रोडक्ट को यूज करने के लिए उसको एंजाइम से अलग होना जरूरी है कि नहीं है बेटा?
yes, ma'am.
So that is why affinity of enzyme towards product जितना कम होता है उतना ज्यादा अच्छा है. It should not be too much. सबस्ट्रेट के लिए अच्छा है, चलो सबस्ट्रेट के साथ वो बाइंड हो रहा है, that is good. बट जब वो प्रोडक्ट के साथ बाइंड होगा और वैसे ही बाउंडेड कंडीशन में रहेगा, that means there will be a problem. It should never have high affinity towards the product. Okay. So that is how actually equation was successfully identified कि कौन सी एंजाइम कितनी efficiently अपनी catalysis reaction करता है. अब ये तो जो इक्वेशन है बेटा, this is actually the last part. अब तो आप फिजिक्स में, केमिस्ट्री में you learn how to derive equation. अगर आपने स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ एटम चैप्टर पढ़ना स्टार्ट किया है तो. But this is a derived equation. When you will grow old in your graduations and post graduations, you will learn how to derive equation. And another thing you will learn is LB plot, that is called Leeuwenberg plot. And through that, you will also be able to calculate the Km and Vmax relationship. Is it part clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, they are never going to ask you tough questions related to this. Maximum के maximum वो इस equation को देके values दे के you have to find out the values. That's what they can give you. Max to max. Okay. So the other factors are product concentration. Can anyone tell me how product concentration is important? I explained this to you. Why? Can you explain? Today also told, yesterday also I told this. Class, anyone? क्या हुआ? Didn't I tell you that enzyme catalyze both forward and backward reaction? Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
प्रोडक्ट कंसेंट्रेशन बढ़ जाएगा तो वो तो बैकवर्ड रिएक्शन चालू करेगा ना, टू मेक श्योर दैट product should be continuously removed to have make the forward reaction occur. Substrate to product वाला रिएक्शन को भी कैटलाइज करेगा, प्रोडक्ट टू सबस्ट्रेट वाला रिएक्शन को भी कैटलाइज करेगा. अगर हमें ये वाली रिएक्शन होते रहने देना है तो फिर जैसे ही प्रोडक्ट बने उसको वहां से हटा लेना पड़ेगा, ताकि हमेशा सबस्ट्रेट से प्रोडक्ट बने, प्रोडक्ट से सबस्ट्रेट ना बने. ओके, इज दिस पार्ट क्लियर टू यू?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is effect of temperature. If you see and plot a graph, the temperature graph will be somehow like this. First, there is increase in activity, and the case when velocity of a reaction is maximum, we call it optimum temperature. अगर आप टेम्परेचर को और बढ़ाते गए, then there will be decrease in the activity. क्यों? उस टेम्परेचर के नीचे के टेम्परेचर में भी प्रोटीन स्ट्रक्चर विल नॉट बी प्रॉपर, सो इट विल नॉट बी फंक्शनल. उसके ऊपर के टेम्परेचर में भी सेम प्रॉब्लम विल बी देयर. नेक्स्ट इज pH. Here also similar curve will be observed. This will call optimum pH. So enzymes act in a range. समझो एक कोई एक एंजाइम है जो 34 डिग्री से सेंटीग्रेड से लेके 40 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड तक काम करता है, बट ये बेस्ट काम करता है 38 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड में. सो अगर ये बेस्ट काम 38 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड में करता है, इसको हम बोलते हैं ऑप्टिमम टेम्परेचर. 34 is minimum temperature in which it will off. जैसे ये मतलब 34 का 33 हो जाएगा, एंजाइम cannot work on it. एंजाइम की एक्टिविटी खत्म हो जाएगी. And 40 degree centigrade is maximum. Same is applicable for pH. Okay, so we will stop our discussion over here today. Tomorrow we will discuss the rest of the factors. Up to this, anyone is having any doubt? Up to this?
No, ma'am.
मैम
Yes, beta.
मैम वो सेकंड पॉइंट जो था ना, एफिनिटी अफेक्ट टुवर्ड्स द प्रोडक्ट, वो वाला समझ में नहीं आया मैम.
I didn't get what you said, beta. Which point?
मैम वो जो पॉइंट था ना कि जिसमें लिखा था कि एफिनिटी अफेक्ट टुवर्ड्स द प्रोडक्ट, वो वाला.
Beta, substrate will be converted into product. अगर प्रोडक्ट एंजाइम से चिपक के रह गया तो कैन यू यूज द एंजाइम एंड प्रोडक्ट?
नो मैम.
तो अगर एफिनिटी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट इफ इट इज टू हाई विद द एंजाइम, विल दैट बी गुड थिंग?
नो मैम.
That's all I said. Very simple. Understood, Yashvi?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Anyone else? Any other doubt? You can ask any simple doubt. देखो ऐसा मत सोचना मैं मैम को पूछूंगी, मैम क्या सोचेगी, फ्रेंड्स क्या सोचेंगे. बेटा मेरे लिए हर एक डाउट सिंपल है क्योंकि मैं कई साल पहले ये पहली बार पढ़ी थी. आप लोगों के लिए हर एक चीज नहीं है, सो इट इज बट नेचुरल. जैसे यशवी का एक बहुत सिंपल डाउट था, बट मेरे लिए वो सिंपल हो सकता है, आपके लिए सिंपल हो सकता है, बट उसकी कंसेप्ट में वो एक बहुत बड़ा अड़ंगा है. याद रखो आपकी नॉलेज जो है ना बेटा, एक घर का स्ट्रक्चर है. उसमें कहीं पे भी एक छोटी सी कंकड़ भी अगर गलत लग गई तो आपका पूरा घर का ढांचा खराब हो सकता है. सो योर डाउट्स आर लाइक स्मॉल गैप्स और स्मॉल बैरियर्स. जितना भी छोटा है उसको क्लियर अप करो. एनीवन एल्स, एनी अदर डाउट बेटा?
No.
So we will conclude our lecture here. Tomorrow we will take forward the other factors that is responsible for enzyme action. Tomorrow we will study the classification of enzyme और एक overall enzyme की revision के लिए हम अच्छी वीडियो देखेंगे. And once enzyme is over, हमारा 2 biomolecules और बचा हुआ है. That one of that is ATP and other is nucleotide. So not nucleotide in the term, आपके बुक में वो in the form of nucleotide बताया है, but we will study the DNA structure. If you know DNA structure, it will be helpful for you. Okay, so bye to all of you. I am concluding lecture.